He's all right? Yeah, fine. Sure? Okay. Go on then, Fraser.
Injuries to start with, please, Jurgen.
Joel Matip was back in training yesterday. How it is always now, we have these little reactions on the last game, so we need to wait a little bit. We have different players, so but in this moment it looks like, apart from Daniel Sturridge, who is a little bit ill or was, but even he could be back. I'm not sure. The long term, not more, but Joel Matip is positive. He looks like he is, not sure if he's ready for Arsenal, but for the games coming up then, pretty sure. That's it, I think.
For all the excitement that there has been about your attacking so far this season, it's only been, I think, 4 goals conceded in 9 Premier League games now, which is terrific defensively. Ragnar Klavan was saying that just it's been little changes here and there. I mean, how pleased have you been with the way things have changed defensively? What are those little changes that you've made?
It's not really a change, to be honest. It's not that we said, okay, from now we do it differently. No, the boys are needed to be more aware of the different situations, all the players, not only the defenders, of course. So we need to feel much more responsible in the different moments to avoid different passes, stuff like this. We did this very often. We conceded, unfortunately, 9 goals in 2 games. So all the rest was kind of okay. It was only something you all were talking about from the first day, because we didn't sign a centre half in the summer. I had to learn that. That's enough to have different defensive problems. You don't sign a player. And so, yes, we knew we had to do better. We could do better, but it was never an individual problem. Yes, it was in a few situations an individual problem, but that's how goals happen. No, we didn't change a lot. We only made the boys are now much more aware, and we have to diagonal protection, stuff like this, of course. But it was always important that it would be quite silly if I wouldn't have mentioned that before and waited until we concede the goals and tell, oh, now I can tell you how it works properly. It's we are a team who is very offensive orientated, but that doesn't mean that you have to give any space away. And the boys did well in different systems, which I really like a lot, because that's the biggest improvement. And but only because they now do the jobs in a moment much more often. But even against Bournemouth, which was obviously an impressive performance, when Jermaine Defoe hit the post, it was not good defending. So it was a good pass, but this should be defended not by the centre halves earlier, or then diagonal protection again, and keeping the line for the offside, or if you don't keep the line, if you're a little bit deeper, then you have to react in the situation differently. So there are always things to work on. That's how football is. But how I said, it's over the whole season, it's absolutely okay. But of course, the numbers are important, and only 4 in the last 9 is good. But to be honest, that's again the past. We have to be ready for a different challenge on Friday. It's Arsenal, and they have quite a talented group there, and they can create chances as well. And we need to be spot on, but all the players need to be spot on in this specific part of the game.
They've been picking up points from very tight games in recent weeks, and yet whenever Liverpool and Arsenal play against each other, there always seems to be a lot of goals. Do you think there is something about the styles of play which the 2 teams have which brings out the best in the attacking football too?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if there are a lot of similarities, to be honest, but it's against us most of the time. Giroud played, even if he didn't play the game before or the game after, from the beginning. and so that says a little bit about the style of Arsenal they've chosen against us very often. But they are a complete football team. They are able to do everything. They can switch and change styles. I said against us, it happened quite often that they played a lot of long balls with Giroud, but he cannot play, and that will change a few things maybe. But they are able to create. They are able to play football. They have a strong side. Whoever will play, since yesterday, maybe we know a little bit more about the lineup. So that means a lot of good footballers on the pitch, and that means. On the one hand side, we have to defend them in the best way we can, and on the other hand side, of course, it means if there are any gaps, any spaces we can use, we have to. I don't know if there will be a lot of goals again, but we go there to perform. We go there to get as much as we can, and we know that's difficult, but in this moment, I feel as well that it's possible, and I think we should try.
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is sure to be mentioned if he's going back to his former club, of course. I'm not sure whether he's destined to start or not. I'm not sure whether you'll tell us or not. But what have you seen in him? How he's improved since he's become a Liverpool player?
Yeah, maybe that explains a little bit the different style that he had to adapt, of course. But he did well from the first day. But I know how it is if you are a kind of a big signing. And then everybody expects you immediately on the pitch, and when you're on the pitch, and you have to perform immediately. But it's difficult. A lot of things are difficult. You cannot just play a little bit, and you don't know your mates. He knew a lot of them from the national team, but it's all different. And so I was happy from the first day about his involvement, about his attitude, and since then he became more and more. A Liverpool player, that's how it is. I think so far we were lucky with he could be part of all sessions if you want. So he's really fit. You could see it at Bournemouth. It was not 1 second when you thought, oh, maybe he's now a little bit tired or something. So he looks really in a really good shape. Played different positions what he could before, but they are not that different. If he plays the wing, for example, or plays an 8, there's a few things are different, but it's in general, especially offensively, it's similar. And I think the biggest improvement or the biggest potential what he still has is really in being involved in goal scoring situations, but because he has it in himself, it's unbelievable. But he was not. Asked for this too much, I think, in the past. It's a little bit, if you watch Arsenal in the past, it's very decisive players were, the two decisive players were Sanchez and Özil in a very lot of moments, and the decisive passes, Özil or Sanchez. And then you are not that much involved, or Giroud when he's coming up then, when he's coming on the pitch, and here we put it on more shoulders, much more shoulders, and if he's on the pitch, he needs to be involved in these situations like this as well. And so I'm fine for the moment. It's all good, but I see really a lot of space for improvement as well, and that's good.
And you talked about the luck, about his injuries, which he maybe didn't have at Arsenal. Is that somewhat or something that you've approached him and worked on here, or is it partly luck?
It's always luck is always involved in this, because you can. If not, then we are always responsible for all the injuries. I don't think that's the case, because you cannot avoid them. But it's. I don't know exactly. We did a lot. We do a lot of things differently. I don't say better, but we do it differently. So and a player has to adapt to that as well. And so far, everything is good with that. I don't think that he played so far 3 games in a row or something like that. That helps all the players for sure. Or in the 4th and the 5th game, then that makes it more dangerous, and that's how it is. No, he is just on a good way. So, on a good lad. I'm really happy to have him around. He's fantastic in the dressing room, and thank God he's really, really good on the pitch as well. So that makes him a nice package.
Just wondering, going on what you were saying about Alex, can you tell straight away if a player is going to settle in as soon as they come through the door, or do you look and you think, okay, he just might take a little bit more time here? Because when you were talking about Mo Salah, he came in and just settled in with Pierce straight away.
But he came in. No, but he came in the preseason. That's a big difference. He came in the preseason. We don't. If Alex would have been here in the preseason, that would have been completely different. So for him, but Alex came in the middle of the season. That's why I don't like these late transfers. So that's how it is. He needs to adapt, and in a much more busy time. So when you don't have time to talk to one player much more than to all the others, because you are already in the middle of the season. So Mo came in and was smooth. It just happened. In the pre, we went to different camps. The boys were together all the time. So in Hong Kong, more or less like in the jail, we couldn't do too much in front of the hotel, I would say. The people were very excited that we were there, and so that helps, of course, for the settle in. But it's that's the biggest difference. There's no difference between Mo and Ox. I think Ox would have needed less time than Mo, and he was already quick.
James?
Just going back to what you were saying about the defence and the excellent record of late, does that have an effect on what you might be thinking for January in terms of the business you do or you don't do?
All what we are doing has influence on what I think. That's how it is. And but what does that mean? Because we did so well defensively, you don't want us to sign a defensive player or a defensive player or what? That will never stop until we do it, probably. Or what was the
your defensive record's been good, I think.
Thank you.
Chelsea,
I tell the boys immediately. Sorry?
So it was Chelsea when you last conceded from open play, so you've done very well so far in terms of defensive record. So does that change how you approach January at all?
We plan, and I've said everything is what we are doing has influence on our plans. That's all what I can say about that. That's yes. So it has influence, but I don't know exactly in which way, in which kind. So you have to wait a little bit. So I don't really. I'm not sure that I get that question 100%. But yes, I was happy. When we win a game, when we defend well, then I'm happy about that. Then we defend not that good as a team, I'm not happy about it. But I don't think then the solution is a new player always. It's not like you. But now I'm still a supporter because I love the game, but I'm not a supporter in this kind of. I cannot change my mind. Now we need it. Without him, it's like this. People stick to their opinion, and obviously, whatever we would do, we concede the first goal. I think it's really rare that that I read. But for example, Alberto Moreno did fantastic this season, and then we played at Sevilla, and he did not well. And there were really people didn't hesitate to say, that's why we need a new left back. And I think, wow, if people would have said the same about you after a bad game, that would have been really funny. So thank God I or we here make the decisions and nobody else. And so, we are quite not relaxed, but we have a view on everything, and it needs to fit together, and everything needs to work out at the end, and you need to have solutions for different situations and different systems and all that stuff. And so far it's okay, but it could have been better, how we know, but it could have been much worse. And so now we prepare for Arsenal, and we have to come back to your point, defensively really, really strong in that game. Otherwise, we don't have a chance.
Jurgen, just back on injuries, you mentioned Sturridge and Matic just dealt. Does that mean Moreno's okay?
No, sorry. It's always like long term. Unfortunately, Alberto is still not even on the pitch, so he needs to. It could still take a few weeks, unfortunately.
We did see Adam Lallana come back into action at the weekend. What did you make of his return, and how did he get injured?
It was aggressive. Was it 10 seconds until he had a yellow card or so? I'm not sure. I didn't even see it because the fourth official was in my way, but I only saw the card then. He's back though, that's good, but he needs to collect minutes now. We will see how we manage that, but he's not ready for 3 games, 90 minutes in a row, but he's ready to help us in specific moments, and hopefully we can build up this his match fitness step by step, because that's the only thing he's missing now. And but even in the few minutes when he was on a pitch, everybody could see what a player he is, and yeah, very good news for all of us that he's back.
Available on Friday again, same as the weekend.
Sorry,
He's available again on Friday.
I heard nothing different. Yeah.
Melissa, Glenn? No? Okay, guys, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sorry.
And if somebody wants nice hat.